Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video, and that is because we are comparing these two babies right here. Now, look, right off the bat, you might not think, those are different. Or you might, I don't know, might not have a clue what the difference is. But just for sake of comparison, I actually picked two different cartridges of the same loading to put them side by side. Make sure I grab the right ones. Yeah, 338 and 300, both Win Mags. So this right here, 338 Win Mag. This right here, 300 Win Mag, and these are both Federal Trophy copper bonded. Same projectile, just one's a 338 and one's a 300 Win Mag. So, and these are both, like I said, Federal Trophy copper bonded. But here's the game, guys. When I come up with these video ideas, sometimes I think, well, that would get some views, and then other times I'm like, I'm really interested in this. I wonder what the numbers actually show. Well, this I think is both of those. So 338 Win Mag, in a lot of people's eyes, oh, that's what you need for a moose, or that's a great elk cartridge. And then 300 Win Mag, on the other hand, oh, that's a great sniper cartridge, or that's a great long-range elk cartridge, or they use that in the military. It must be a great long-range sniper round. So some of that all may be true. I don't know. I'm just kind of reiterating what people tell me in the comments all the time. Here's what we're going to do, guys. I got 5 of each. I just grabbed these off my shelf. One right off the bat, let me tell you what, 338 Win Mag is ridiculously expensive. A box of it, I don't care where you go, it's $100, $120 now. A little over 3 years ago, before you know what happened, 338 Win Mag was decently affordable. $60 a box. Not anymore. Same boxes are now doubled in price. But went to my shelf, grabbed 5 factory loadings of 300 Win Mag and 5 factory loadings. Can you believe that? I actually have 5 different factory loadings of 338 Win Mag. I've hunted with it. Takes critters. And we're going to compare them on paper. This is what I got, y'all. A little bit of everything. If your favorite's not in here, there's probably something that's close to your favorite that you could kind of grab onto and follow its journey through this chart. But what I'm going to show you is all 5 of these 300 Win Mags, and then 5 of these 338 Win Mags. We're going to chart them up, talk about boot drop, and we're going to talk about energy at varying distances out to 1,000 yards. So to me, that's the 2 main things that makes a difference. Energy, because more energy is more better, especially when it comes to hunting. And also, drop, less drop is more better. So yeah, less holdover, less dial. Yeah, so let's look real quick at what I got. Actually, let me take a step back. I've taken both of these hunting. Real quick, here's some me using 300 Win Mag on some critters. Let's do 2 whitetails at 300 yards, just inside actually, and then a mule deer at 430 yards that I took with 300 Win Mag.
Let's go. Give me some. Good shot.
Yards, baby.
Drop it.
On the back right. It's on the right. Yeah. Yep. Facing left. Okay.
Ready? Yep. Perfect shot. Perfect shot. He's going down with that one.
Perfect shot. Perfect shot. He's going down with that one.
All right, now we're going to roll in some footage of 338 Win Mag. Taking two animals with 338 Win Mag. A Sika deer, some people call them Sika deer. They're from Japan. I actually got it in Texas. Big old deer. I didn't get the actual hit on camera for that one. And then I got a hog also in Texas at just a shade over 100 yards, 110 yards. 338 Win Mag versus hog.
I think the biggest one is the one on the left there.
So, I got experience taking some critters with both of these. Real quick, let me show you what we're working with. 338 Win Mag, 225 grain federal trophy copper. Norma. This is a 230 grain Oryx from Norma. Remington tried and true core locked, 225 grain. You'll see that a common thread of 338 Win Mag is everybody loads them in 225 grain. Federal Fusion. I will mention also that several of these 338 Win Mags have been canceled and they don't make anymore. 338 Win Mag, 225 grain Federal Fusion. This is discontinued. So is the Federal. I actually found these just the other day. This is Hornady Outfitter CX, also 225 grain. What do we got for the 300 Win Mag? People comment to me that they like these all the time. I actually bought a bunch of this, spent a fortune on a bunch of it, and my 300 Win Mag wouldn't group it. So 165 grain trophy copper. Then this stuff's pretty popular. The Hornady Match in 178 grain. Then we got the 180 grain Remington Core Lock Tipped. Then we've got the Remington Core Locked 150 grain. That's the lightest of all this data. And then we've got, this stuff is brand new. This is what I took that mule deer with this past year at 430 yards. Remington Cut, copper tipped. And that's also a 180 grain. So, all that being said, I've taken critters with both. Hopefully, some of this is some of the stuff that you guys like. Let's just take a dive real quick and look at the numbers. So, right off the bat, here is 338 Win Mag versus 300 Win Mag. I've got the ballistic coefficient and the muzzle velocity of all these noted. So, look at the BC column. I have all this color coordinated. Green means good, red means bad, yellow means it's in the middle. So for ballistic coefficient, the higher the number, the better. Muzzle velocity, the higher the number, the better. It's green. And then we get into the drop in inches. Everything zeroed at 100. All things the same. 200 yards. What drops the least? Well, it is that 300 Win Mag Remington Core Locked, because it's the lightest. And what's the worst at 200 yards? Well, it's the 230 grain Norma Oryx 338 Win Mag. So that drops 4 inches at 200. And then you can see all the stuff in between. You guys can freeze this. I'm going to kind of rush through some of this data because it's a lot. But I put it all in here so you guys could have some data and you wouldn't have to figure all this out. Yeah. Let's go to 300. The same still remains. The least amount of drop is that 150 grain 300 Win Mag Remington Core Locked. And the worst is still that 338 Win Mag 230 grain, dropping 14.7 inches at 300 yards. Let's step over to 500 yards. At 500 yards, The least amount of drop is the 165 grain Trophy Copper Federal. And the worst is, guys, 338 Win Mag drops more, heavier. It just drops more. You can see how the top 5 is all in the green shade and the bottom 5 is all in the yellow and red. 338 Win Mag drops faster than 300 Win Mag, pretty much across the board. Kick it on out to 1,000 yards. Which one of these that I showed you out of these 10 drops the least? You might have guessed it, but that Federal Trophy Copper actually won. I might have guessed that the match from Hornady would drop the least because it has the highest BC with 0.547 BC on this stuff. But to 1,000 yards, the 165 grain Federal Trophy Copper actually drops 4 inches less. So negligible almost at 1,000 yards, but it does. I would bet you if you took this out further, the match stuff would probably overtake it. But we're mainly focusing on hunting here, guys, so past 1,000 yards is kind of irrelevant to me in this situation. All that being said, before you 300 Win Mag, guys, send this video link to your 338 Win Mag friend and say, na boo boo, 300 Win Mag is better than 338 Win Mag. Let's talk about energy. I said a moment ago, mo energy is mo better. Well, remember how the top 5 was green for Bullet Drop and the bottom 5 was yellow and red? That pretty much flips when we talk about energy. So let's look at energy. Same thing, same order. 300 Win Mag is the top 5, 338 Win Mag is the bottom 5. So, muzzle velocity. It's also a common thread. Okay. Almost everybody loads their 338 Win Mag in a 225 grainer and a 2,800 feet per second muzzle velocity. Somebody figured out, that's kind of the best ballistically speaking, and then everybody else copied it. So some of the 338 Win Mag is very, very similar because the BC is just slightly off, and then things change as we get further out. So what has the most energy at the muzzle? You can see all the green is 338 Win Mag. So if your goal is to have maximum power at the muzzle, 338 Win Mag is what you should pick. Step it on out to 100 yards. All the green is still 338 Win Mag. Which load is winning at 100 yards? It's the top 3. 225 grain, 2,800 feet per second, and the highest ballistic coefficient. But yeah, let's think about this for a second. Take a step back. When we talk about energy, a lot of people say you need, it's kind of some old FUD lore. You know, people feed me FUD lore all the time in the comments. You need 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to take a deer and 1,500 foot-pounds of energy to take an elk. Let's see where that comes into play. So that being said, look at 500 yards. The 338 Win Mag still has almost 2,000 foot-pounds of energy. So let's just pause and look at 500 yards. So 300 Win Mag at 500 yards, that's still pretty respectable. The Remington cut at the top, 1,663 foot-pounds of energy at 500 yards. That's respectable. That's according to FUD lore. You could still take an elk at 500 yards with that 300 Win Mag. Almost all hunting 300 Win Mag ammo is above that 1,500 foot-pounds of energy at 500 yards. Well, let's look at the, again, 338 Win Mag is almost 2,000 at that same distance. So if your goal is maximum energy within hunting ranges, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards, 338 Win Mag wins over 300 Win Mag. Ding, 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 ding. So 300 Win Mag, less drop. 338 Win Mag, more energy, more power, more stop that critter in its tracks. And why not? Let's carry it on out to 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards. The match actually wins for the most energy. So 2,500, 338 Win Mag has the most energy. Really out to almost everything except that match overtakes it. Has the higher BC, and it's carrying energy out further to 1,000 yards than everything else. But where do we hit that 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to take a deer? Pretty close to 900 yards for both of them across the board. So, all that being said, again, you guys can freeze this stuff and nerd out as much as you want to. I double-checked the data. It all should be good. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you like better? 300 Win Mag or 338 Win Mag? Like I said, I've taken critters with both of them. Both very impressive. Some might say both have too much energy for deer. I'm more in the camp of I'd rather have more energy than just enough energy. Then again, I preach placement, bullet placement. I preach to everybody. Is more important than the cartridge you're hunting with. You got these big boys. A lot more forgiving on the placement if you're whopping them with 2,000 foot-pounds of energy or more. So those, just for sake of example, those two deer I took at 300 yards with that cut ammo, which is the top. That 300 Win Mag 180 grain, I hit those deer with 2,273 foot-pounds of energy. It's no wonder they fell right over where they were. Woof-da. Anyways, now we have the data, and we got it uploaded to the interwebs. Bullet drop and energy comparisons with 338 Win Mag and the 300 Win Mag. Appreciate y'all watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed. I've got tons of these videos uploaded where we talk about bullet ballistics. We got a bunch of hunting footage. I'm uploading more and more. Critter catching as much as I can. But hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you got a buddy that likes 300 Win Mag or 338 Win Mag, shoot them this link and see what they think about it. Always love to hear your stories in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about 300 Win Mag and 338 Win Mag and all the critters that you're taking them. Message me, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else. I love hearing you guys' hunting stories. Appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, go check out WHOTEEWHO.com. We're loading new stuff up there as much as I can. We'll see you guys on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!